Good morning and welcome to the market color for today, the 17th of February 2024. I'm very excited to have you all here. This market color is brought to you by yours truly, the Value Flow Trading Team, and it's powered by the Value Flow Trading Team. Wonderful morning, and I wish you all a happy trading week. As we commence today's market color, we're going to be looking at the following currency pairs and indexes in view, starting off with the dollar index, and then we'll be looking at Euro USD, GBP USD, gold against the dollar, and that will be all for the dollar part. And then we'll switch over to the yen part, where we're going to be looking at the yen basket, GBP JPY, Euro JPY, and USD JPY. My name is CJ, and I'm going to be taking you through the first part of today's market color. So ride with us as we go through the major currency index for today, which is the dollar index. Starting off on the weekly time frame, as you can see, the dollar index is making its way to the downside and creating further discounts on the last swing that was built. Now, if you remember the last swing that was built, this is the last swing, here being the swing low, all right, and then the swing high being all the way up here. Okay, so these two places are the last swing high and swing low for GBP, for the dollar index. Just 1 minute, so I'll make sure my screen has been shared. And yeah, so I hope you all can see my screen. I hope you can see my screen. Please confirm. I just need one person to confirm. All right, that's good. Thank you very much, Mr. Joseph. It's been a while. I saw a couple of people here on the market color group. So there are some people who are regular attendees. We have Moyosori Olua. Wonderful morning to you. We have Mr. Mangot, Mr. J, Mr. Joseph, and Mr. Emmanuel. Good morning to you all. For all those who are joining us for the first time, wonderful morning to you. We wish you can extend a handshake, but then by my voice, we are welcoming each and every one of you to the market color for today. So we're going to go back to the chart and proceed with the analysis for this morning. All right, so for the dollar index on the weekly time frame, we had this swing, here being the swing low and here being the swing high. So until price breaks this swing to the downside before we conclude that the market has broken its trend and then structure is to the downside, or the market has broken a structure and trend is to the downside for the dollar index. Okay, so but currently what we have now is still an uptrend. However, we're having minor structure within this place. So for the dollar index, until we see it break this low here, before we say the dollar index is now a clear sell. All these things that are happening here, although we're going to take advantage of them, but then we would want to see price maintain this structure until it breaks here before we see that reversal. Now, if you also draw a swing from here, citing here as a swing low, as we said earlier, and then this place as a swing high, Okay, so this being the swing low and then the swing high. Just a minute, so I would make it clear. Sorry. All right, so this being our swing low and swing high, you can see that price already at 78.6%. This is a good place for a reversal, but then we're not going to just jump on the reversal. We're going to wait for it to actually give us a shift in structure on the lower time frame before we jump on the continuation trend for the buy side. So citing this as what is happening on the weekly time frame, we know that price is on a discount, is in a discount level on the weekly time frame, and it's still a buy structure. So from the weekly time frame, what we're getting out of it is that we might see a little more sales until we now see shift in structure on the lower time frames. We're going to also check for that. When we see those shifts in structure on the lower time frame, then we continue buying. Okay, but for the weekly time frame, we are still bullish. However, we're experiencing some retracements. Now let's look at the daily time frames. Now on the daily time frame, we're getting more clarity as we have more data to analyze. Now on the daily time frame for the dollar index, I want you to all look carefully. You see that price has taken out all these internal liquidity points. Okay, as price is taking out all these internal liquidity points, the only one that is left is the origin of this swing. Now, if we see price break the origin of this swing, which is right here at 105.116, it means that we are now in a downtrend. Okay, when price breaks and close below it, it is signifying that we're in a downtrend. But until it does that, we'll be looking forward to a reversal, seeing that all these liquidity points has been grabbed. Now, as we're looking forward to reversal, I want you to also note something right here on the daily time frame. You can all see that we have a left shoulder right here. For those who are very familiar with the box pattern, we have a left shoulder right here. Now, talking about the box strategy, we've recently found out that some people are having issues accessing the course, and this is majorly because we're having a little technical issue with academy, online academy, but it's going to be sorted out in a couple of days' time, and then we'll have everything online so that you can access training materials. But if you need an exclusive access to the training materials while we wait for the academy to be up, we have a makeshift version of the online academy that you can take advantage of until the main one comes back, and then you migrate back to the main platform. So if you want to get access to that, don't let the technical issues stop you. Send us a DM now, whether it's on Telegram or on WhatsApp or on YouTube, wherever you're watching this from. Write a comment on YouTube or send us a DM on Telegram now so that we can get you added up to the temporal online academy. And once it's sorted, we'll migrate you back to the permanent online academy. Okay. So that being said, we hope those who have those issues would be sorted out. Okay. So back to the analysis we're making. If you see this left shoulder right here, it fulfilled everything that we want to see in our box pattern. Okay, let me get rid of all these older markups here. So we have a clear chart. Now look at this. We have this left shoulder. There was a sweep. After the sweep, we saw the break of structure, and price hasn't returned there since it left this level. So if dollar index is going to grab one more sweep, I expect that this level is going to be the last structure that will grab before it starts trading to the upside. So with this, we're saying that we expect the dollar index to resume an uptrend, and we're at the point where we're expecting that uptrend to resume from. Here is the first place, the left shoulder right here. So I'm expecting something like this to play out. For price to trade into this level here, and then resume all the way to the upside and take out that old high. So this is one of the things that I'm expecting. Now, the second thing that I'm expecting to play out here is that price once again retest this breaker block right here. So let me draw out the breaker block right there. Okay, so if you don't know what a breaker block is, I'll just simplify it and say previous resistance could turn to support. I think that is more simpler to understand. So when previous resistance turn to support, we usually call that candle a breaker block. The candle that formed the previous resistance, which is going to now become the resting place for the support. So this is another place where I'm expecting the dollar index to buy from. So Within these two regions, I would want to see minor structure shift. So since this is the daily time frame, I would want to look at 4 hours. I want to look at 1 hour. I want to look at 30 minutes or sometimes even 15 minutes. I want to see a clear break or structure to the upside. I want to see clear buy structure within these two places. If I see buy structure in any of these two places, I'll be willing to buy the dollar all the way to the upside. And by buying the dollar, I'll be selling currency pairs like Euro USD and GBP USD. Okay, so these are my 2 points of interest for the dollar index. Okay, so let's move forward and look at the 4-hour time frame. Now, the 4-hour time frame, you can see that these two places also hold water, because on the 4-hour time frame, you also notice that we have a little structure here that price will take out before trading above. So this could also be a liquidity point for price to take out before it continues trading to the upside. So I'm very mindful of those two levels, and I want to see what price is going to do on any of these two. Now, if you look at the 1-hour time frame, we're also seeing that there's a possibility of a structure shift on the 1-hour time frame, but it's far above, because look at where the last structure happened on the 1-hour time frame. Okay, so this is the last structure on the 1-hour time frame. So until price breaks this high and trades to the upside, I will be selling the dollar index. Okay, so I'll be selling the dollar index until price breaks this high and trade above. Okay, so this is what I'm going to be doing on the dollar index moving into the remaining part of this week. Okay, so we've done the weekly analysis on the dollar index. Now let's look at it from a daily analysis standpoint. Now for today, seeing what we've analyzed on the weekly level, this is a strong point and we expect a bounce. Even if this is not going to start the reversal, we would expect at least a bounce from this place. So on this, I'm expecting to see some buys on the dollar index, at least maybe to somewhere around here before it sells. But if price gets to this place and then continues buying above, that means we are seeing a break of structure and a reversal which is imminent on the dollar index. So this is what I'm expecting today. I'll say it again. I'm expecting to see the dollar index trade into this level right here, somewhere around here, and then sell off. If it doesn't trade into this level and sells off, and then goes ahead to break this level, then I'll be expecting the buys to continue. Okay, so I'll be buying the dollar index a little and then selling it off afterwards. So this is going to be more like a scalping day for us, because the dollar index is in a mix. It has more potentials to trade to the downside. It also has potentials to trade to the upside. So we're going to just be scalping either of the two positions. Okay, so I'll take a buy scalp all the way here, and then I'll take a sell to the downside. These are the things that I'm expecting to play out on the dollar index. Now let's look at Euro USD and GBP USD so that we can get actual trades for the day with regards to what we've analyzed. Starting off with Euro USD, I think this is an old markup. We're going to check the implication of this markup when we drill down to the lower time frame. But on the weekly time frame of Euro USD is caught up in a range on the weekly time frame. Okay, so when Euro USD is caught up in a range on the weekly time frame, most times what I like to do is that on the lower time frame, if it gets to the premium part or the upper boundary of that range, I'll take a sell. If it gets to the discount or the lower boundary of that range, I'll take a buy until it breaks out of the range. Okay, but I do all this applying extra caution, because I would not want to be caught up in the opposite direction or in a breakout session. So for Euro USD, seeing that it is caught up in the range, what is the overall trend direction? It is a sell trend, okay, because this is the last sell structure right here, from here, all the way from this level to the downside. So this being the last sell structure of Euro USD, and hasn't broken it to the upside yet. So we'll keep looking for sales on Euro USD. Now let's look at it on the daily time frame. Now on the daily time frame of Euro USD, we saw a clear break of structure for the daily to the upside, but we know that that buy on the daily is only but a reversal, or sorry, a retracement on the weekly time frame. So this is where the market broke structure on the daily time frame for Euro USD. So we could be seeing Euro USD trade a little higher, maybe into any of these places, but until it breaks here, before we now totally accept that we are now in a buy trend for Euro USD. Okay, so this daily move, you can see that the daily move has been giving very deep retracement since it has been making those moves to the upside. Whenever the price trades above, it makes those deep retracement and sells down. Now, if you remember, I think a couple of weeks ago, we cited this I think it was this. I can't really remember the exact box structure, either this one or this one right here. But one of these two box structures was cited, and then it initiated a buy for Euro USD. Now, very interestingly, when I was looking at the chart this morning before the analysis, I also noticed that on the 4-hour time frame, we have a box structure to the downside. Let's quickly look at that. So this is it on the 4-hour time frame. We have a box structure to the downside. This being our left shoulder, the sweep, the breakout structure. Price has returned here. If you look at the lower time frame, you start seeing little structure shift. So for Euro USD, I'm willing to sell it off all the way to the downside. Just like we're willing to take little buys on the dollar index, we're also willing to take those sales on Euro USD to the downside, at least to some discount level of the last swing that was formed. Now let's look at that on the 1-hour time frame. Now on the 1-hour time frame, the structure that is going to give us confirmation on that move is right here. So if you're a swing trader, this is the best place you would want to wait for. Okay, you want to wait for Euro USD to break this structure before we start selling. Okay, so if you want to take good swing positions, just wait for Euro USD to break here. And then when we start selling, we'll be looking to sell Euro USD all the way here to take out this level. This is over, let's check and see. From here all the way here, it's about 165 pips. So that is quite decent on Euro USD for swing position. So if you're taking swing trades, just wait for Euro USD to break here, and then we'll take that to the upside. Then if you're scalping on Euro USD, we should be looking out for a sell on Euro USD this morning, all the way to this level right here. Now I'll switch to the 15-minute time frame so you see our target for the sell on Euro USD. So from where price currently is, I'm looking out for a very short sell all the way here, and then maybe we'll wait for price to break out of this level. So on the 15-minute time frame, you can see that we also have a box pattern right here that is going to guide us on that sell. So from here, from where price is to this level, you can take a quick scalp because I'm expecting a bounce from here, or price to go ahead and break the structure right here. So one of these two is going to happen. So I'll just wait for Euro USD to give an entry. Then we'll take a scalp to this level. And then if price is going to resume the uptrend, we'll continue buying it. But if not, we'll wait for it to break here and then sell to the downside. Today being Monday, we usually expect this kind of moves where we see moves to set up to the upside and set up to the downside. So we'll just take quick scalps and then arrange our markups, and let's call that our traps, to see which of the trap the market is going to break. So for the first trap to the downside is this level here. If price breaks 1.04565 to the downside, then we'll be selling Euro USD continuously for the main part of this week. But if it doesn't do so, we'll be expecting a buy from here. You go ahead and take out all these liquidity levels that are residing here. You can see all of them here. Okay, we'll take a buy to take out all this level right here if price bounces off this place. So this is my analysis on Euro USD. Sell into this area and a buyback. But if it doesn't continue buying from here, we'll wait to see if it's going to break here, and then we'll continue selling it to the downside. Okay, now quickly on GBP USD, we're seeing that GBP USD on the weekly time frame is still a sell, citing this as our week swing point, here being the swing high, and then here being the swing low. So on the weekly time frame, we're still selling GBP USD. All that is happening is a retracement of GBP USD. Now, if you draw a fib, using our fib tool, you see that price is approaching this order block and then 78.6. You can see the order block from here, the weekly order block, which is here. We're joining two candles to form the order block. On our FX bootcamp, we usually explain why we do all this. So on the weekly time frame, GBP USD is in an order block and it's approaching 78.6. Now let's look at the daily time frame. Now on the daily time frame, it is in a buy trend. Okay, seeing that price is about breaking this level right here. It actually broke it. So we are seeing that GBP USD is in a buy trend on the daily time frame. But we know that this daily time frame buy is a weekly time frame retracement. So on that note, we'll be looking out for levels on the weekly time frame where we can get potential reversal or continuation of the sell trend from. So seeing that price has bought all the way to this level, it's possible that price could buy up to this other block right here. Let me adjust this to show you the other block on the daily time frame that GBP could buy to. All right, so it is possible that GBP could buy into this level before it starts selling. However, seeing that price has given this strong expansion and it has closed above this high, we could see some retracement or a sell-off before price goes back to tap this level right here. So let's look at the 4-hour time frame. Now, on the 4-hour time frame, you can see that that expansion really went so high. We're expecting that sell-off before we continue buying. So we're expecting a sell-off for this expansion from here all the way to this level. On the 1-hour time frame, we can see that price looks to be rejecting off that level. So for this guy on the 1-hour time frame, I'm expecting a sell-off. And where are we expecting price to sell to? All the way maybe here, okay? Or a discount of that 4-hour move. Let's look at the 4-hour move quickly. Okay, so this is the main move on the 4-hour time frame. You can swing this all the way up here. Okay. Now, having swung this all the way up here, this look at this 61.8 level. You can see this other block that is residing here between 61.8 and 50. This is like going to be our best entry for a buy if we're looking for a buy on GBP USD. So for this, to switch down to the 1-hour time frame, I'm expecting GBP USD to sell off into this level today and then possibly resume the buy trend. But if it breaks and continues selling, then we just go all out and sell. But for today, this is what I'm expecting on GBP USD. I think about 100 pips. Yeah, about 100 pips into that region before we see a buy. So for today on GBP USD, I'm not seeing any swing opportunity on GBP USD yet. I'm seeing a scalp on GBP USD, which is selling it off all the way to this level right here, at least today into tomorrow and Wednesday. That's the first half of this week before we see the next thing that GBP USD is going to be doing. So surely on Wednesday, we're going to be analyzing GBP USD again to see what it has done from now into Wednesday. But for today, I'm expecting a sell into this level. Now, if we go to our lower time frame, we should start looking out for our entry signatures to print out on GBP USD. So once those entry signatures are printed out on GBP USD, I'll be going short on GBP USD all the way to this level right here. Okay, so these are the things that I'm looking out for on the dollar, on GBP USD, and on Euro USD for this week and for today. So right now, we're going to be looking at gold as our next point of analysis. So just a brief recap on GBP USD, we're looking out for a sell from where price currently is all the way to this downside around one spot 25,000. 1 spot 25000 is where we're expecting GBP to sell to. So right now, what we're waiting for is our entry signature to sell GBP USD. So GBP USD from our analysis today is a sell all the way to this level right here. Now for Euro USD, we're also expecting a sell from once we see our entry signature, we're selling Euro USD all the way to 1 spot 04650. Okay, so we're selling these two guys all the way here. And then for the dollar index, we're looking forward to a buy where we would want to see price take out this high, trade into this other block, and then we would want to see if it's going to break this level. If it breaks this level, that means we are all out for a dollar index buy. But if it doesn't break it, we're expecting it to sell further into the 4-hour left shoulder here for the box pattern to play out. Okay, so these are my views on the pairs that I've analyzed. We'll be going over to gold, where we'll analyze the outlook for gold for this week. So if you have any question, make sure you ask your questions in the chat box. But if there's anything that is a little more technical than what I've explained here, or you want to take our training so that you can replicate this analysis and these strategies that we're using to analyze the market on various other pairs that you analyze and you trade, feel free to send us a DM so that we can get you started to the FX Bootcamp course, where we teach all the strategies and all our entry signatures for our students to be able to take advantage of. Okay, so let's head on to our analysis for gold.
Yeah, a fruitful morning, everyone, and welcome back to the Market Color brought to you by the Value Flow Trading Team. That was a great analysis from CJ, and that is why it's called Father CJ, going in depthly into the market and dig everything out. Thank you very much, and it's actually a very great leverage for me in the analysis of the precious metal from what we've seen to happen to the DSY moving forward. All right, so let's quickly move now to the analysis of the precious metal. all throughout last week, for the past few weeks for the precious metal. I want to believe you can hear me loud and clear, and also you can see my chart. All right. So all throughout the past few weeks for the precious metal has been a bullish one all the way to the upside. Even though it's going to show some signal of a sell, but it's still going to come back to the upside. And we actually said last week that the levels is still heading to, there's high probability the precious metal trade into the 3,000 level in this first half of the year before we begin to see what happens because of the pattern we are seeing on the SY. All right, so let's quickly move into the overall analysis. Now, if you look at it on the monthly time frame, you are going to observe that we are very much bullish all the way to the upside, all the way to the upside. The precious metal is very, very bullish all the way to the upside. All right, so from there, let's quickly check on the weekly time frame too. Now, if you look at the weekly time frame, we are seeing a similar pattern there on the weekly time frame, showing us we are still very much bullish. You can see consecutive buy candles all the way to the upside, and that is really giving us much more, insight that the precious metal seems to be the most preferred safe haven asset for the past few months now, if you look at it all through. All right, now this is the weekly time frame, and what are we expecting to see on the weekly time frame? Looking at how last week closed, we can see the candle inverted hammer on the last week candle on the weekly time frame. This is it. And today we see the market open bullish, which means there's high tendency the market wants to go and test the structure that already formed last week. Then we may see some level of sell before the continuation of the buy. So the verdict on the weekly time frame still remains a bullish trend all the way to the upside, but we may have a little bit, retracement or pullback to the downside before the continuation of the bullish move to the upside. All right, so let's quickly check on the daily time frame. What do we have there and where exactly are we heading to? Now, on the daily time frame on Friday happens to be a massive sell day for the precious metal as it sold all the way to consume the buy of almost 2 days. All right, just in one day. It's even during the more of the New York session, that's when we see the massive sell of the precious metal. After the release of the news, we've been seeing the massive sell all through. And today, looking at what price has actually done today at the opening of the market, we see that price is more likely, today may likely be a sell day too, but let's see into the lower time frame to discover what exactly are we now looking out for to see moving forward. Now, on the 4-hour time frame, it becomes much more clearer on is now much more clearer on the 4-hour time frame because we've seen how that price range around this level here. You can see after it broke out of this high, this is more like a resistance, and price broke out of it, now making it more of a support. Now, just as CJ said that when market gives this kind of pattern, you buy low and sell high. All right, so that is exactly what has been happening here. So what I'm expecting for today for the precious metal is a rally all the way into a level you can see somewhere around this place. Now, if you zoom in very well, you are going to see there's a very tiny fair value gap there where there is high tendency price comes into that level. Now, we have the fair value gap there. We also have the order block seated just there. And if you go to your lower time frame, you are going to observe more like a shoulder around this level. So we are expecting that price should tap into that level. Then we want to see a sell into the daily trend line that we've been following all through for the past few weeks. Now you can see how that price has been respecting that. So if this happens and price reacts from this particular level, we can know we are heading all the way to the 3,000 level. All right, that's for the 4-hour time frame. Okay, now let's quickly check on the 1-hour time frame. What exactly do we have on the charts? Now, for the 1-hour time frame, we can see what we just analyzed on the 4-hour time frame right there on the 1-hour time frame. You can see. So I expect price to come and take out liquidity around this level here. You can see it here. Then when price taps into that level, the fair value gap seated inside with the order block and the shoulder. So the whole of this place has given us some level of confidence to check out for in the market. So that is what we would be expecting for this week. And for today, this may happen just today. And you can see the momentum at which the market is pushing to the upside. Now, when we go to the lower time frame, we are going to see how that there is more like an opportunity to join this buy And if we can't jump on it, we would wait until this sell gets here. Then we take advantage of the sell and follow it all the way to the downside. All right. Now let's quickly go to the 15-minute time frame to see the now trade that we have on the 15-minute time frame. Now for 15 minutes, you can see that we have almost the same thing. However, we can see that there is liquidity around here, and that is what I am still expecting the market to come and take out around this level here. So we to short it to the downside. However, if you look at on the 15-minute time frame, we have more like a flip zone somewhere around this place, which means if price gets to somewhere around this place, we may see some price reaction to the downside, but that would be a very low probability trade somewhere here. You can see now that would be a very low probability trade. If price trades here, take out liquidity around this level, then begin to move to the downside. That's going to be a low probability trade. Instead, I would advise if we can wait, just as we all know that patience enjoys more of the gain. Now, if you can wait and see price come all the way to take out liquidity, yeah, that's it. But if you want to risk it at this flip zone, if you see your sell structure or your sell entry pattern, anyone you use in trading, then you can easily take somewhere here to downside. However, the overall move still remains the precious metal is still very much bullish, and we are just expecting a little pullback of it from that level that we have just at the upside here. All right. So that is for the precious metal moving forward for today. I know some will be like, okay, what's going on the 5-minute time frame? There's nothing going on there, so don't look at it. All right. So let's quickly go to Japan to see what exactly is going on the yen basket and the other yen correlated pairs as we look at GJ, AJ, and UJ. All right, now for the yen basket on the monthly time frame, we are going to observe on the monthly time frame, it looks more of a bearish market, and that is it, the downside. However, since last year, after this massive push to the upside, we are still expecting that price will still push to the downside, clear liquidity here, tap into this monthly order block, and that will give us a more confidence to long the yen basket to the upside. Now it becomes much more clearer on the weekly time frame because we've seen some level of market structure shift on the weekly time frame, which it is that we can see here. However, we can see that the momentum is not really encouraging at all. That's why we are still expecting price to pull back to the downside, take out liquidity here, and you can see a reference point just seated inside of the yen basket here. So if price takes out this liquidity, we may just see more like probably it's going to be a news that, as we all know, that news inject more liquidity into the market. So we may just see a very sharp move all the way into this reference point, and we begin to follow it all the way back up again because we've already seen a market structure shift on the weekly time frame. And remember, just as we used to say, that the lower time frame makes up the higher time frame. However, higher time frame controls the lower time frame. So in this case, we are referencing the weekly time frame to be the higher time frame now, and we want price to take out the liquidity here and also tap into this reference point, which is also giving us some level of correlation with what we just saw on the monthly time frame. All right, so that is it for the weekly time frame for yen basket. Now on the daily time frame, we are going to observe everything we have is more like what we mostly call a bullish flag. Imagine bullish flag on the daily time frame, and the flag is as long as this. Is now a banner. All right. So as you can see, we expect this long range to come all the way down, take out liquidity, and break out to the upside. And that is going to be a massive buy if the yen basket would break out of this range to the upside. It's going to be a massive buy. At the same time, if it comes all the way down, just as we are expecting it, to take out liquidity here, and after taking out liquidity, and we begin to see structure for the continuation of the buy, then we follow through all the way to the upside. And on the 4-hour time frame, we are going to observe what price is still doing. On the 4-hour time frame, there is more like a bar structure, just as we have the shoulder here, the liquidity here, and that's why you see this illustration. If you're on our mailing list yesterday, you will have gotten this all through that what we are expecting on the yen basket, particularly this 4-hour time frame. So I am still expecting the yen basket to trade all the way up here take out liquidity, then begin to sell all the way back down. Go and clear liquidity where we are expecting it to go to. However, on the 4-hour time frame, we are going to observe that as price is pushing to the upside, we begin to see some reference point inside here, which is this fair value gap. So I'm expecting this current candle on the 4-hour time frame to trade into this fair value gap before the continuation to the upside. And this gives me a pre-information of what to do right now on the yen correlated pairs, as I'm currently, longing on one of the yen correlated pairs. All right. So I'm expecting the yen basket to tap into this, then I can follow through. All right. So that is for the yen basket overview of the yen basket. So if this is what we are expecting on the yen basket, what should we look out for on the other yen correlated pair like GBP JPY? Now, if you look at GBP JPY, you are going to observe that on the weekly time frame, let's pick it from the weekly time frame too. The weekly time frame too is still very much bullish to the upside. However, we see that there is a level of market structure shift to the downside here, as you can see, and price pushing within that range too. But if you come to the daily time frame, you are going to observe how that, sorry, the screen is a bit, messed up a bit. All right, but you can see how that market is very much forming a range all through. But if you look at this daily time frame, you can see how price has been bouncing off this trend line, but we can see the break to the downside of it. So I'm expecting the GBP JPY to just trade all the way back into this trend line, just as it has done here. Then we see the sell of it because we are expecting a long on the yen basket. So we are expecting on day time frame, I'm looking more for a sell of GBP JPY. All right. Now, if you look at it on the 4-hour time frame, we are going to observe the same thing happening here. All right. So that is why it's pushing. And you can see what is really happening. What we've seen on the yen basket is almost the same thing that we can see on the JPY here. And you can see our price is most likely tap into this fair value gap on the 4-hour time frame. However, there is a liquidity level at the top here that I'm still expecting that there's high tendency. If price gets into this fair value gap on 4-hour and we did not see the sell structure there, then that means it's coming for liquidity here before we begin to sell to the downside. I believe you get that well. And if it begins to sell to the downside, where are we expecting it to sell all the way into? We are coming all the way into this fair value gap here. You can see the volume imbalance. So you can just draw your Fibonacci and see that this is the 76.8% fib level where we may begin to see more of a push to the upside again because of the structure that we have on the yen basket. All right. So that is for GBP JPY. Now let's quickly go to the 1-hour time frame of GBP JPY to see clearly what exactly is happening on it. And just as you can see, after the massive buy, we've seen market structure shift on the 1-hour time frame. However, we've seen that price has not really taken out liquidity from this level here. Let me zoom out so we all can see well. Price has not taken out liquidity from here. So that is why I'm of the opinion that we may see price just straight into this fair value gap, such as we've seen it on the 4-hour time frame, and also the flip zone here. So when we begin to see sell structure inside this place, we are going to short it to the downside. However, if this fair value gap doesn't hold and we did not see any sell structure there, I'm going to wait for price to come and take out liquidity here, and we look for a short structure here. So this is the first entry, this is the second entry, and the last entry is at this level here, same price to take out liquidity here, and we can follow from this shoulder with our stop loss at this high here. So that is for GBP JPY moving forward. You check it on the 15-minute time frame, it makes much more sense on the 15-minute time frame if you just want to trade the lower time frame. All right, how that this is the flip zone, we have the order block correlating with the fair value gap there, making much sense because the fair value gap is from the 4-hour time frame and we can easily follow through. However, be mindful of this structure at the top here. So that is the same thing we are looking out for. So if I want to short JPY, I'm going to wait to see sell structure inside this zone. And if it doesn't form, then I will wait for it around this level to take out liquidity here. Then we begin to short because of this shoulder that we have here to the downside. Now from GBP JPY, let's quickly go to USD currently. What's going on USD All right. For USD you are going to, let's start from the weekly time frame of USD You are going to observe that price has been bullish to the upside all through, but because of what we are expecting on the dollar, we are expecting a weak dollar. So, and we can see the structure that we have on the weekly time frame of USD We've seen the sweep, we've seen the shoulder, price tap into that shoulder, and that's why we are seeing most of this sell. So any buy we see on USD is just a very short one. And knowing fully well that we are expecting a weak dollar, so that is much more of a concern to that we may see more of a sell on the USD However, on the daily time frame, what exactly are we seeing? We can see on the daily time frame that price, after tapping into that level to the downside, you can see that this is more like a 78% fib level, how that price traded into it and it's bouncing off it to the upside. So all we just do is just scalp your 60, 70 pips, 30, 40 pips, and get out of the market because of where the market is currently now. But on this daily time frame, I'm still expecting the USD to push a little bit to the upside because of the sell that we are expecting on the yen basket. All right. So if that is going to happen, then we want it to come all the way into this level around this place. And there is high probability that if we are seeing a weak dollar and also a weak yen, that means USD is going to reign for a while. All right. So that is for that. And on the 4-hour time frame, we are going to observe that our price already gave a level of structure to the upside here, somewhere here, and we want to follow through. But I'm still of the opinion we may still see it come after it has taken out liquidity here. Now, what gave me the pre-information of the decision I made this morning was after price already took out liquidity here and we begin to see sales buy structure on the lower time frame, then all we want to do is just, this is the fair value gap here that we are seeing right here. You can see it inside of this space. This is the fair value gap inside of this space and this other block, giving us the same thing that we are seeing on the yen basket. Now, if we are seeing that same thing on the yen basket, it's simply telling us that if the yen basket taps into this fair value gap and it wants to continue its buy to the upside, then we will see the sell of USD But since USD has already taken out liquidity here and is pushing to the upside, what we just need to do is come to your 1-hour time frame, and on the 1-hour time frame, we've seen how that price take out liquidity here, go to your lower time frame, which is 15 minutes, and we've seen the market structure shift a bit on the 15-minute time frame. You can see how the price take out the Asian low early hours of this morning, pushed to the upside, came back into this reference point, and that is why I just entered all the way. And I'm going to upload when price gets to this flip zone here and also this other block. So that's going to be the uploading zone for USD moving forward because of what we are seeing, the little pullback that we are seeing on the yen basket. And lastly, before we call it a day for AUD you can see for AUD on the higher time frame, let's start from the daily time frame of AUD we are going to see is forming the same thing, more like an inverse of the yen basket is what we are seeing on AUD So we expect it also to long all the way, clear liquidity, and this is on the daily time frame, just as we are expecting on the yen basket. But for the 4-hour time frame for AUD we are going to observe that price is still very much to the downside. However, we are seeing gradual structure shift to the upside a bit, as you can see, all the way to the upside. So where exactly are we heading to? We are expecting market to come all the way to this level here. And knowing fully well that this week we are going to see the release of the interest rates on the Australian dollar and also the New Zealand dollar. So we want to wait and see. Those may be what is going to inject more liquidity into this particular pair as it trades all the way into this level here. And you can see the imbalance that we have here has not been closed at all. So we are still expecting price to come and close this imbalance before following it down to the downside. So if we go to your 15-minute time frame to see if there's any entry, right now on AUD there is no any entry for the buy. Instead, what we are seeing is price is just giving some, forming price action, which is not really giving at all. So we just stay out of AUD moving forward today. All right, so that is the analysis for the precious metal, for the yen basket, and the other yen correlated. Yes, if there's any question, you can easily type